Hey, I'm Bri Cobb, host of the Living Her Next Phase podcast. I've got a question for you. Can you think back to a time when you were probably in your early 20s, graduated from college, and life was great, right? So you're single, you come out of school, you find that great job, and it was all about staying focused on your career, making money, hanging out with your friends, being independent, probably moving out on your and living on your own for real, meaning paying your own bills for the first time in your life. And as I said, life was good. And then you find your significant other, you get married, you have kids, and you find yourself in a situation where life starts to get a little serious. Because with a husband and with kids comes other things, such as tuition, mortgages, car payments, more of a budget put aside for food and preparing for savings and college and all of those things. And again, life just got really serious. So then sacrifices then have to be made because as you are rearing your kids, you realize that you cannot do everything. And personally speaking, I got to a point where I had one child, and I remember working in Manhattan and still having to do the commute. And my mother looked at me and said, there's going to come a time where you are not going to be able to do everything. And I figured, that's just your way of thinking. That was back in your days. That's not now. Women today, modern women, we can do everything, right? And then I quickly realized after baby number 2 that no, yeah, she was right. I didn't tell her that, but yeah, she was right. And I couldn't do everything. So I found myself in a place where other women had been and were at that time, which was having to make a serious decision. What gets sacrificed? How do you balance everything? How do you raise your kids, manage your family, and really thrive at your career? So many people make serious choices, one of which could have been, for some, to abandon their careers, the careers that they had spent years building, so they can focus on raising their kids and they could focus on taking care of their family. And that became a job to them. And others still tried to do both, but something always got sacrificed. And what I found it was along the way, I also lost myself. Personally, I decided to abandon the corporate sector and branch out on my own and run my own business. And that was a great balance. But of course, that still suffered because my kids were the priority. Because as they got older, they got more active in sports and extracurricular activities and different programs at school. And because a lot of moms choose to really focus on making sure their kids have everything, and everything meaning the best you can afford to give them, then you make the sacrifices. And for me, it became sacrificing little things such as going to get my nails done regularly. That was no longer fun because I always had in the back of my mind that I should be doing something different. I should be making better use of my time. I also sacrificed getting my hair done regularly, not going to the spa as often as I wanted to go to, and really just neglecting all the things that I wanted to do. And it made me a little bitter, not about having kids, but bitter that I wasn't mentally prepared for all the changes that were going to take place. And you know what? Those years raising my kids went by quickly, very quickly. And now they are at a point where I call them semi-independent. So they're not ready to move off and live on their own yet, but because they still need me and they still need my husband. However, I have more time because they're more independent. They can do things for themselves. I don't have to cook as often. I don't have to drive everyone everywhere. And I get a chance to focus on me and do those things that I wanted to do. So my question to you is, what have you always wanted to do? What have you sacrificed over the years? Because I'm sure it's something. And I wonder, what have you done? Like, have you found that thing that you've been thinking about for so long that you haven't been able to do? That thing you probably wrote about in your journal 50 to 100 times over the years, but you've never really pursued it because you didn't have the time and because you told yourself that you've got other priorities. I know that's happened to me, and I've spoken to numerous women who are in the same camp. So if this is you, know that you are not alone. But I want to let you know that I have been interviewing various women, and I'll continue to do so, women who have literally taken charge of their next phase. So whether it is starting businesses, changing careers, getting back into the corporate sector, or they're working on personal development and really becoming a better version of themselves, getting really fit, making that the priority again, staying healthy, eating better, and just being more informed about what you consume and how you care for your body, internally and externally. And the woman who's really looking forward to being sexy again, right? Being courted by our spouses again, and going on date nights and just doing all the things that we've always wanted to do, at least for a very long period of time. But now we can enjoy those things again because we have time. So if this is you and you need a bit of inspiration and you need to see how other women are making it happen for themselves, and again, you just need to be inspired and motivated so that you can go ahead and pursue the thing that you've always wanted to pursue, the thing that you've been dreaming about for a long period of time. Now is the time. If there is something that you want, now is the time to go get it. Because if not now, when? So if this is you again, join me at Living Her Next Phase. My podcast comes out weekly, but you'll also find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So come join me. I'd love to talk to you, connect with you, engage with you, and we can motivate each other. So until then, take care. This is Bri Cobb.